Might take a few days.
Yeah. Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Rage and Cypher. Are the Knicks going to the chip? They just made a crazy trade for Karl-Anthony Towns. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and now tune in to Hoops World.
We played that I want to kill everything in front of me, so
670. We did it! I hit the streets just to get a bag. I pack, he got toe tagged. I punched the nigga for shorty. I'm John Woo with the 40. You not gang nor the homie. Don't blow me, no, you don't know me. Gang shit, members only. You wasn't there, I was lonely. You wasn't there, I was lonely. Dog nights, blicky on me. I was just stacking my commas up. Head down, trying to run it up. These niggas be steady, be clocking me like the D.
Yeah, we got a banger, late night banger from Shams, man. The Knicks have gone all the way. So we're going to be talking about the Knicks trade here. So the Knicks had traded Donte DiVincenzo, their first round protected Detroit pick, and they traded Julius Randle for Karl-Anthony Towns, man. What a banger. It's just like the Knicks, because we're coming up a Knicks video. And make sure if you didn't see our next video, go down and see our next video too. I know it's probably like pointless to watch that, but it is key because we did tend to see like every player and all exactly the intricacies of all the the Knicks talk. But here, I think I want to talk more about the Wolves aspect too, because the Wolves, I questioned it myself. I was like, what are the Wolves doing here? I mean, they gave up their second best player for Julius Randle and Donte. Now, Donte, I love it for the Wolves. That's going to be great. But the Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert back front court, I'm like, that front court doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. What do you think about that? How are you feeling about that front court with Julius Randle and Rudy Rage?
I was, it was just like too with like their situation. It was like, I mean, you pick Rudy Gobert over Cat. Okay, I guess
Yeah.
in terms of the money wise, it makes sense. But like,
Yeah.
man, like they must really, 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 trust Rudy, but also look out for like Nas Reed. We'll see that. But in terms of that front court, like it's gonna be. We talked about this sometime, but like when last year, when we saw it in the playoffs, a lot of times it was just Ant on an island, and when Ant wasn't doing nothing, it was just trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Well, so now what we're gonna be able to see is, well, if Ant's not able to, figure out what he's doing, just give it to Julius Randle and he'll do it.
Give it to Julius Randle.
And he'll
Sounds
just figure it out.
crazy.
The Julius Randle ISO, but I mean, Rudy Gobert will be fine. I can understand. Obviously, Julius Randle can, like, as a forward, he can do obviously quite a bit of things. But in terms of his offense, we'll see. He's solid, but we look at, we just look at, like we look at the, in terms of the inconsistencies and just how how he'll play with that whole group. They just kind of breaking that up, with Cat and just, with him being there is just kind of crazy. Now,
yeah.
What, like 2 weeks till the season starts?
And looking at the Wolves roster, and you made a good point before we started this. Like they did, if you're a Wolves fan, you're probably like, "What the heck is going on right now? What is my team doing?" But at the same time, you guys did get deeper. You're a really, really deep team. I mean, you possibly have Donte coming off the bench. You still have Nas Reed coming off the bench, and it's still like you still have a deep team, but it's like the offensive production. You're gonna have to find that replacement from Cat. What was Cat averaging? Like 25 and 8, 26 and 8?
Like 20, it was like 21. Yeah.
21 and 8?
22 and 8.
So you're gonna have to pray Julius Randle has one of the best seasons next year, because he's gonna be a free agent. So he might be playing hard. I think he's gonna have that chip on his shoulder. The Knicks just traded him. He thought he was all in there. I think they just had him on some like there was a statue, I think, or something. They just had Julius Randle present for the Knicks. I just saw him on one of the Knicks highlights where he was presenting for the Knicks, and now he just got traded. So he might have that little chip on his shoulder, and he might ball out. So they're going to hope Julius Randle shoots 40 from 3, because Cat was shooting 40 from 3, average 21 or more, and give you 8 rebounds. So that's what they're hoping Julius does.
2 of those things is gonna happen because
Yeah.
last year he averaged 24 and 9 with the Knicks.
Mm,
The problem is he shot 31% from 3,
yeah.
which is a problem because that is the biggest difference here, the three-point shooting.
Yeah.
So Randall is a better ball handler slash playmaker than
Yeah.
Cat,
Yeah.
but defensively, they're kind of similar defensively.
Defensively, they're similar. They don't really
Bang.
impact the game defensively. But the thing is, I guess that's why you're thinking, okay, if I'm the Wolves, they did choose Rudy over Cat, but they know that they need. I guess the one thing they need Rudy is to protect the rim because Julius is not going to protect the rim. He's not going to protect the rim, and he's going to give you some semi. The only thing defensively that Julius does well is guard in the post. I'll say that he does guard in the post well. So that's
The key
probably the only thing.
here is DiVincenzo because one of the biggest problems with the Wolves was the lack of there's guard bench depth, which is why they drafted Rob Dillingham.
Yeah,
Now, DiVincenzo is one of the best bench guards in the NBA. Shot
yeah,
40% from 3 on 9 attempts. So,
yeah.
very good flamethrower-esque player, microwave scorer. So there's a lot and good defender, like very good guard defender.
So if I'm a Wolves fan, that's what I'm saying. I'm happy. I'm trying to tell myself, okay, my offensive production in the playoffs is going to come from Anthony and Donte, and hopefully Rob Dillingham takes a leap or some type of gives me something off the bench, and then obviously Nasri too. So those
And
those
Randall.
guys I'm looking at like they gotta step up and help. And I guess the Wolves are going from more of a collective thing, like committee scoring by committee, rather than have Cat.
On the
So
court, well, we know what this is. This is a salary dump.
yeah,
This saves them $10 million this year,
yeah,
and when Randall expires, because he's an expiring contract, they're gonna sign him for either they're gonna let him walk in free agency,
yeah.
or they're gonna sign him to, like, $30 million a year.
Yeah, yeah, because they're gonna have to resign Julius because it's like you can't just trade Cat for Dante. I think Dante is gonna be up in 2020. Didn't they? Dante didn't get re-upped yet for the Knicks. He's gonna be up in 2026, but he's not really as expensive anyways. Like they're gonna be fine with re-upping Dante. All right, so we talked about the Wolves. I just think before we get to the Knicks, where do you put this? Like, where does this trade put the Wolves in your opinion? Rage or Side, anybody? Does this put them? Are they still top 5 in the West? Because
No.
going a couple of hours ago, we had the Wolves like probably the best team, one of the best teams in the West. Are they still the best team in the West?
No, they got worse.
Yeah.
They
So it's like,
they
where do you
they
rank
just
them
made
in
a
the West?
conference finals, and they traded away their second best player,
Yeah. Where do you rank them in the West right now?
like, maybe 5th or 6th seed.
60. Ooh, Rage. What about? What do you think the Wolves are in the West right now, Rage?
Yeah, I don't think I can really argue with that.
6.
I don't think I can. It's. I mean, I honestly, I
I
could
don't.
see
Top
like
5
I
is
don't.
tough because the West
I
is
don't think.
hard
I
though.
don't think. I don't think it's that bad
Mhm.
in terms of how they run stuff. Like I said, but I mean, it didn't help. I don't think it got them better. I think it's still kind of weird. I do kind of see them at that 4-5,
Yeah,
4-5.
4-5. Mhm.
Four
Yeah,
five. I
I
think
agree.
that's where I'll put them right now. I don't think they can go any lower than that. I think that's kind of where they're at, but they're not
Yeah.
nothing. They're
Yeah, I
nothing.
I I agree. I agree. I think 4, 5, 6, I'll put them in that. And it could go bad too with 5 or 6, but 4, 5, 6 is where I'm putting the Wolves right now. And I had them high, high, high before this trade happened. I had the Wolves at least number 1 or 2, but now it's just things are different now. It's Julius Randle. Like, I don't know. Um, going from the Bulls to the Knicks, though, the Knicks fans are gonna be lit. Knicks fans are hyped. They just got one of the best. They got probably the best shooting big man in the NBA right now. You got Cat. You finally got Cat. Hometown Cat from Edison, from Jersey. Big Jersey in the building. What do you think? Let me know the strengths and weaknesses of the Knicks because Knicks fans are going to be so hype about this trade. But give me the strengths first of this deal that they made. And it's still not done yet. They're gonna have to trade either Mitch Robinson or Deuce and a couple guys, or they're gonna do their, like you said, the sign and trade thing. I don't think the sign and trade thing is gonna. I don't know if the Hornets are gonna go for that, but what do you think the strengths right now of this Knicks team? Like, where do you see them improving drastically? Aside from
Okay,
yeah.
so
Mhm.
offensively, they got better. They
Yeah.
got one of the best shooters in the NBA. They basically fixed their center problem with
Mm.
Robinson hurt and Hardenstein gone. They lost bench depth. They lost DiVincenzo, who's also a very good guard shooter, guard defender.
Yeah.
They could lose more because, as they said, they got to give up $8.8 million in salary to a third team. And
Yeah.
either they got to give up Mitchell Robinson, they got to give up Deuce McBride plus some other guys, or now this is less likely, but they got to do a sign and trade with a couple of free agents to
Yeah.
counter the salary. But that would hard cap them.
Yeah, they'll definitely be hard capped. So it's like they're stuck in a place where it's like, okay, we're going all in for the chip, right? We're going to sacrifice something, our depth, and our toughness for the chip because we got a superstar in Cat or whatever. But in the East, it's like their only competition is Boston, Philly, and Milwaukee. So it's not like it's a whole bunch of teams you got to fight for. It's those three teams that are just, standing in their way, in my opinion. So let's say the Knicks are healthy, right? Do you see them beating Boston or Philly?
So Philly,
Yeah,
I probably will give them the leg there a little
you
bit,
give them
maybe.
the win over Philly
Can
in the
go
series.
can go either way, to be
Yeah,
honest. I think Philly could go either way because they're both kind of, but I'll lean more towards the Knicks. Boston, no. I don't think they beat
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah,
They're
and I was
good. They're good.
yeah
Like we know they're good, but Boston already, like it's just with everyone they have, like
yeah I
I
was
they can match that. Boston's
Yeah,
good.
I was saying that to Sai before we started this. I was like, this trade, I think Leon Rose had Boston in mind because they match up really, really well with Boston, in my opinion. I think because Boston likes to play 5 out with KP. So now you can go 5 out with Cat. You got KP to match Cat. And then you have the wing defenders. If Mikhail and OG are healthy and they defending, you do have some wing defenders for Tatum and JB, the J brothers. So you have those two
And you
wing
still got Josh
defenders.
Hart too.
Yeah, so I think they do match up pretty well with the Boston Celtics, but when it comes to the bench, that's where it gets tricky because Boston still has some guys off the bench that we saw in this year. They had some guys off the bench that was cooking. They still go. Boston goes about what 8 deep. Eight maybe 8 9, 8 9 because what's his name was hitting tons of threes. Not Peyton, the other tall shooter they have. He was hitting tons of threes in the playoffs. So it really depends how it really depends on the matchup. But I think I'm going to take Boston. I'm still taking Boston, but the Knicks could make a way. Like I said, this move championship, they were championship contending, but this is like, okay, we got to make it or it's a terrible fail. It's a terrible fail if we lose. That's where the Knicks are at right now. Now, as far as weaknesses, Syph was right about. I just think rebounding, I think they take a hit. Toughness, they take a hit. Defense, they take a hit, a small hit. It's just because Mitch is too injury prone. This man is always injured. OG, we know OG is just an injury waiting to happen. It's been like that ever since Toronto. He's gonna get hurt. And then you think about Cat. Cat has his days where he's. What do you say, Cat? What is his Syph Cat's
Last two
injury? He
years,
has
he's averaged 46 games per season.
46
Last two
games the
seasons.
last 2 years. That's not good at all. That's almost not, that's not good. So, what do you think? What do you think the Knicks rank in the East right now? Let's just play the rankings, I guess. So, would you guys put them number 3?
Oof. I mean, in terms of where they probably rank in the regular season, with how seriously they take it, they could possibly be one,
One.
I think
one or
3.
two.
Think 3. Syph?
It just they had so much roster turnover because they lost Hardenstein,
Yeah.
they lost DiVincenzo. Randall didn't play, so that doesn't matter in the playoffs, but they lost 2 guys that were important, and
Yeah.
they brought in Cat, they
Yeah.
brought in Bridges, and we gotta see how those guys fit.
Yeah.
And, because this trade was so sudden, I don't think Tibbs has a game plan for Cat yet.
Yeah, yeah. I saw Billy Reinhart tweet someone out too. He said that they're going to be very dependent on their 5, kind of like how Denver was depending on that 5 of theirs. That's 5 they before they traded what's his name on the Nuggets.
But
KCP. Yeah, thank you. They for the trade
Yeah,
KCP, they had a legit 5 that was they were so chemistry. The chemistry was amazing of that 5, but outside of that 5, it was just terrible. It's terrible. So that's like the Knicks gonna have to preserve that starting 5. If Tom Thibodeau gets one of those guys hurt, everything falls apart. Everything falls apart. So, yeah. Let us know in the comments about the Knicks. What do you guys think the Knicks rank? What do you think about this move, the trade? Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Twitter at HoopsWorld0. Hit that like button, subscribe. This is a huge trade, man. We'll see what happens. We'll be back.